All right, hi everybody, John Meadows here, and today we're talking about exercise selection. More specifically, how often should you rotate exercises in and out? Some people you'll hear a lot of people actually say, well, you should just pick some exercises and just do those, work those. And then you'll have other people say, well, you really should be rotating out a lot of exercises. So let's just talk about where there might be value in rotating in, whether there's not value, and let's just go from there. And then let's talk about how would you build this into your training program. So the first thing you have to realize is kinesiology of the muscles. And I remember when I first started getting into bodybuilding when I was 12 years old, I used to go to the store with my grandmother, and as she shopped, I would go to the magazine section. And I used to just look at the pro wrestlers. Like I was always looking at the Road Warriors and some of the guys from way back when. You guys weren't even born at that time. But I picked up a muscle and fitness magazine, and I was really fascinated by the bodybuilders in it and how they looked. And I pretty quickly decided I wanted to be a bodybuilder myself. And anyways, the reason why I bring that up is because muscle and fitness always had this kinesiology section. And it was really neat. You could see where the fibers had, where the origins were, the muscle groups, where the attachments were. So they would show like a lat pull down, and they'd show the muscles in your back that worked and show the exercise. And I was always like the first part of the magazine that I went to when I got it. And even through high school and college, kinesiology was by far my favorite class. I loved it, absolutely loved it. So when you think about kinesiology, muscles, they have what I would say is common origins, but they attach at different placements. They have different attachments. So if you think about like your pecs, you hear people talking about building their upper pecs, or what we would think of as your clavicular fibers that run like this. And then you have another part of your pec that has, we call it the sternal head, that has fibers running across here. If you think about your shoulders, you have your anterior delt that flexes your shoulder. You have the medial delt that abducts your shoulder. And you have my favorite, the rear delt, that horizontally abducts your shoulder. So you have these different attachments in those muscles that kind of do different things. And the fibers run in different directions. And that's going to give you leverage depending on how you have your body aligned. One guy that's done a really nice job on this, explaining this to people, is Kaz over at In1 Education. So kudos for him. That's been one of the things he's really talked about. How do you align muscle fibers with muscle action? And it really makes a lot of sense in terms of getting the most out of each exercise. So, you think about how the fibers in your upper traps run, for example, and the fact that they elevate your scapula, or the lower traps that depress your scapula. So I think the first thing you can say when you think about rotating exercises is it does make sense to do different angles to fully develop your body. So if you just did bench presses, squats, deadlifts, had a real basic routine, that's a good thing. But if you really want full muscular development, if you want all your muscles fully developed, you just have to consider different exercises, different angles, and what they're training. And I remember hearing, this has been a while back, many years ago, well, a bench press is all you need for chest because everything just contracts equally. I think people used to call it the all or nothing, like either the whole muscle contracted or it didn't. And it never made sense to me. And the reason why, y'all that watch me know I'm big on common sense. And it never made sense to me because there were certain exercises that made me more sore in certain areas of the muscle. So for example, if I was doing a lot of, say, decline work, I would notice my pecs were more sore in the lower and outer region as opposed to an incline dumbbell press. So there was something, again, common sense, that just said, I don't know that I buy that philosophy. If everything worked the same, why are different exercises creating soreness in different areas? It would seem to me that there's something to changing exercise angles and things like that. And the bad thing was the people that were saying all or nothing, and you only need one exercise, were supposedly the scientists. But thankfully, we have scientists now, guys like Brad Schoenfeld, and Brad has talked a lot about He had articles from Fonseca and colleagues. So this was a really cool study where they had somebody do Smith machine squats. Then they equated the volume, and the other group did Smith machine squats, I think like a leg press and a lunge. And they saw in that second group, they had more vastus medialis, that's the teardrop muscle, develop, and more vastus lateralis, that's that quad sweep muscle on the outside that we call it, developed. Like the ones that had a more rounded routine had more uniform development. And so as a bodybuilder, that makes total sense to us. But there are a lot of people out there that say, don't do that. Don't change your exercises. So, kind of where do I stand on this? Well, I think it depends on kind of the level that you're at. So if you look at a beginner, I would want a beginner to really focus on basic movement patterns and learn how to execute exercises properly, right? So how do you align your back when you do a row? Is your back rounded? How do you change your grip? Are you supinated? Are you neutral? Are you pronated? I would want a beginner to learn those things. So you have to spend some time doing an exercise to learn it. And the way I actually really, really like to work with beginners is I like to have them do full body workouts 3 times a week. And I like for them to do one exercise for each body part on Monday. Wednesday, they do a different exercise, and Friday, they do a different exercise. So I like for them to be complementary in nature. So let's say on Monday, your one exercise for chest might be a slight decline dumbbell press. And then on Wednesday, it might be a slight incline barbell press. On Friday, it might be a machine fly. So you can see that all 3 of those are different and complementary, but they're doing it the same. They're doing it every week for 12 weeks. So you're getting 12 good workouts on each exercise angle to really learn and perfect it. So, and then when it comes to intermediates, I typically like to go, an upper lower body type split where we add in maybe a few more exercises, but we're splitting the body up so you can handle a little bit more. And then as you progress, you get into more of the advanced push-pull type workouts where now you're using a lot more exercises. So that's kind of how I like to see the progression of adding exercises. Now, I do believe that once you get to an advanced level, that the being more creative and using a variety of exercises is where you would really gain the most benefit from rotating exercises. Because at that point, you know which exercises really work for you. And like if you look at the back, there's a lot of muscles in the back. Teres muscles, latissimus, rhomboids, traps, all different portions of your traps, and so forth. So you know how to train better, and you know that muscles, you know that there's different exercises that are going to hit your back in different ways. So when you get to that advanced level, I always encourage people to use a variety of exercises depending on what they want to work. You hear a lot of guys that are advanced say, for instance, I want to work on my lower lats more. I'm one of those guys. I was always doing that. So I was doing movements that really, really focus on my lower lats. That was what I needed. For me to tell a beginner, well, I think you need to work on your lower lats and specialize in that. That's kind of silly. I'd rather see them learn how to do rows, learn how to do basic stuff. So as you get more advanced, I would encourage you to rotate exercises more. Now, as you get more advanced, what becomes more important is you know how to do the exercises. It's actually the intensity. It's actually just how hard you train at. So you'll know what movements feel pretty good for you. If you don't know what movements feel really good for you, then you haven't hit that advanced stage yet. And I would encourage you to continue to use certain movements for 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks in a row to try to really learn the movements. So I hope that makes sense. Basically, the more advanced you get, the more I want you to rotate exercises. Because when you get to that level, you should have the exercises figured out that really work for you. And again, then it becomes more of an intensity game. Like how hard can you really push yourself? That's what really makes a difference. A beginner, intermediate, it's not about pushing yourself. It's about more of learning exercises, perfecting them, and setting you up for and progressing on them, getting a little stronger, getting a few more reps, getting a few more pounds on the bar. Those are the things that are really important early in your training career. So anyways, I hope that helps. Just a short video today, but I think it's a great topic. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I think it's a great topic, because there's a lot of people on one side of the fence or the other. And to me, it just depends on the level that you're training at. So that's it for me. Hope you like the shirt here. We'll see you next time. Oh, can they see the shirt? All right, you guys can see the shirt. I just asked the expert. So we'll see you next time. Have a great day.